Hello and welcome to On the Counter. We are back in podcast form and we have the usual suspects. James Bishop, how are we?
I'm good, lad. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Even better for
Good
seeing
stuff.
all your faces because I can't see it in person.
Class.
Samuel Edwards, resident vision mixer, doesn't have to do it anymore.
Get in there.
You literally have nothing to do except talk shite about
And that is the worst thing I am, but what?
That is the worst
There you
thing
go.
I am, folks. And we're joined by guest of the show, friend of the On the Counter cast. I was going to call our group name then. I can't say that. Adam Evans.
Hello.
Welcome. This is your first appearance on the Counter.
Live from
First of many.
deep in Wales.
Yeah, where
Deep
are
in
you right
Wales,
now?
In Wales.
You are
I'm
in the territory of. I can't say that either. It was to do with sheep, and you knew where it was going.
Where was it going?
I can't do that. My hands are.
Yeah.
A lot of this would get. We're editing on the fly. It's great. Yeah, as you can tell, this is a lot looser. Well, to be fair, you can't get much looser than what On the Counter was.
Bruce, how do you like him? Nice and loose.
And the reason we're doing this is because there's nothing else to do. So we've brought On the Counter back in podcast form. You can also see our faces. As you can tell by Bish and Adam, it is just, a
Friday
few
evening.
bevs, football chat. It's like you're back in the pub. We're going to talk about the football that happened.
Ladies?
You wish. We're going to talk about the football that has happened midweek and also look forward to the football of the weekend. No matter how little Bish wants to talk about football right now.
Yeah, football's not ideal. but,
Shall we start with Liverpool?
No, we should start
Yeah.
with Brighton.
Yeah, well, funny you say that.
Let's talk the positive side of it.
Let's start with Liverpool, reigning champions.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to end that way this season. Is that what we're thinking? Bish, let's go to you first, resident Liverpool fan.
Yeah. I mean, the title was gone near pretty much. It would take Man City are not what they're 7 points ahead, game in hand. They'd have to lose three games the end of the season and then still have a game in hand. So yeah, their title's pretty much gone, unless Man United can sneak in there. City did drop any points, but I doubt. That would imply Man United not losing any games. So yeah,
Thing is, though,
the
like,
title is,
That's possible. That is very possible.
Do you think the fear factor has gone now with Liverpool
well with Liverpool, a little bit. I think
from other teams?
to be dead honest, Anfield's never really since with no fans. It is kind of just another ground.
Yeah.
I know about saying but you look at the whole time Liverpool have had since the whole pandemic, Liverpool form has been dross. It has been crap.
Yeah.
And without that Anfield factor's kind of gone in one respect because of the lack of fans. So yeah, I don't think there is that fear factor anymore.
Well, I know he doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to football because he watches Swansea every week. But Adam, do you think Liverpool have been affected by being on top for so long that it was eventually just gonna collapse? Because you go from four years unbeaten at home to losing two on the
basically.
trot. So do you reckon the mentality monsters are gone?
I guess you could say that, yeah. And the fact that obviously they won the Champions League now, winning the Premier League last season, they don't really have anything to strive for that they haven't won before. So I
FA
guess
Cup.
they
Fuck that.
You're not in
I
it
guess they
anymore.
have a.
That's
I
why
guess
they
have,
fucked it. That's why I said they fucked it.
Yeah.
That was what they should have been motivated for.
I guess they have a little less motivation because obviously they've won the Premier League now.
Do you reckon? Because eventually, I think Ferguson was the best person because I think he knew that he was going to finish at some point anyway. But I thought he knew that it was going to fall off.
Fergie was brilliant. When you look at the teams United had, the times. Well, you look. The best example of Fergie you can give is the Invincibles to then Chelsea's back-to-back years. The longest period after they won it the first time, the longest period United didn't win the title.
Yeah, was it
and Fergie kind of. Yeah, that 3 years. Fergie.
And then you got
probably,
Anderson.
I don't know if he'd admit it. Well, yeah, he made some cracking stuff. But he kind of sat back, brought in players like Rooney, Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? Brought in some younger players, gave them a couple of years, rebuilt a side, sat back for 3 years. You know, United didn't panic. Obviously, it's a different time in football.
Yeah.
You could
during,
have.
during
do you know
that
what I mean? They-
time. During that time, Sam, you moved over from Arsenal to Manchester United.
Yes, why? Thank you.
Well, no. That was a bit unfair. But do you think, as a United fan, is it nice to see Liverpool not as good, but then City seems to be coming back
Don't really-
into their? You can't
Yeah,
really
it's
win.
kind of like, oh, at
You
least
can't win.
Liverpool aren't doing well, but Man City are still absolute,
Yeah.
It's
like, I mean,
football killers in that it's
it'd
just
be like
winning
celeb-
constantly.
it-
There's no
like-
mistakes or anything.
Yeah, it'd be like celebrating your missus cheating on you with your brother instead of your dad. There's no good answer.
That would be
You
a
just
bad
kind of-
week.
Well,
Shag my
it's been a
dad, now
bad-
you shag my
it's been a
brother.
bad- it's been a bad
Anyone
few
get
years for you.
flashbacks to Brian Giggs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, they-
for United.
bad
There you
few
go.
years. If you think United, like they've gone right. They had let City do back to back, then Liverpool win it, and then it looks like City are going to run away with it. I think it is United's now to keep up with City.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's United to
City
keep trying to keep up
won.
with them. and not
Leicester look like
Leicester, but they're
they
not
might.
consistent.
Yeah,
They're not.
that's what I was
Leicester
gonna
dropped points here. Like Leicester, well, who did they lose? They lost to Leeds, didn't they? The other week, last week. We've had when
Yeah.
Vardy was unfit, they lost 3-1
Yeah.
to Leeds.
say. Harvey Barnes.
One
So-
thing I would say
Go on.
is, from a non-Premier League club supporter,
Wait,
it's
so was
very
he on the Premier
entertaining
League?
to watch.
Not yet.
No, but for the fact, obviously, yeah, Man City are top at the moment, and obviously United are close behind, and there's still a few teams that could potentially win the title. So it's
There
quite
are.
entertaining
but-
to watch for a neutral.
Mm.
I just think this Man City team have got a different side to them than the one like last year. And to be fair to them, but the years before under Pep, they weren't this defensively solid because Vincent Kompany in his last couple of years at the club couldn't stay fit.
Yeah.
They would be really inconsistent.
I think Ruben
defensively, whereas
Diaz
with
has
Ruben Diaz,
Oh,
who is a
Ruben Diaz has probably been
bloody
signing
animal.
of the season.
If you make John Stones look good, you're class. Now that is
Yeah, but have you seen that? Wasn't
Johnson
it,
then bad,
did you read
but
that
he's
stat?
not great.
It was like in the last 1,374 minutes with John Stones starting or something. City haven't lost a game or something.
They've conceded this unbeaten run they're on, this 13-game unbeaten run, they've conceded once, which is against
Yeah.
Chelsea in like the 90th minute. Hudson and Doyle scored.
Yeah, that was when
They're already
it looked
free.
like they weren't going to score at all. And
Yeah.
suddenly they scored. Shall we move on to United? Because they beat Southampton
Yes.
9-0 in the week.
9-0.
I'm sure Sam's happy that we started to record this podcast this week and not last week, because it would have been all about Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Are United too inconsistent to win the title, considering, as you said, they lost to Sheffield United? Oh, that's Sheffield United's first away win of the season. And then they go and beat a team 9-0. I know Southampton obviously had 2 sendings off and stuff, but they were good. They did take their chances.
Yeah.
Adam,
I think
let's go to Adam
I
first,
thought Sam.
because I don't want
No,
Sam.
no,
I don't want Sam to be.
Yeah.
I want to get the other, and then we can have Sam. Sam can big them up. Go on, Adam.
Is this my chance to just dig a hole and Sam's got to climb himself out? of
Yeah,
it?
Sam's got to defend.
Oh, I
what
thank
you were
you.
about to say.
That's so nice.
Okay, I think this one's quite easy. I would say yes, they are. To lose against Sheffield United, a team that's what? How many points got this year? Like 7, or something like that? 7, 8?
It's not a lot. They're
No,
on 11. They're on 11
now.
now.
They're on back. Yeah.
Because they beat West Brom in
Okay.
the week.
Yeah, to go from losing against them to beating Southampton 9-0. Yeah, it's obviously getting back up from a loss to a very, very convincing win. But you just can't lose against teams like Sheffield United, who are obviously fighting relegation at the moment. So it's a bit questionable. Yeah.
I think with United, don't get us wrong, they have done really well in games. They've been really good at playing badly but winning games and such. They've played really well in like moments.
Away from home.
Yeah, away from home. But they relied a lot of the time on their better individuals, your Cavani, your Bruno, your Rashford, to get them out of trouble. Instead of like as a team performance, grinding out results. They haven't been in control of games. Which
They
then,
also
in the long
relied
run-
on getting goals after the final whistle had gone.
Yeah. Well,
I'm still crying about
a
that.
lot earlier in the season, but yeah.
Yeah, because we hit the bar 5 times.
Oh,
Yeah, mate, Trossard, I've had him
Don't
in
hold
my
a
fantasy
grudge, though,
team the
don't hold a
entire
grudge.
season.
To be fair, he
And
could have got the
And
goal.
hat trick, yeah. Yeah,
So
true.
Sam, Are you confident that you're going to keep a title race going to the end of the season, or are you a bit more of a pessimistic United fan who doesn't think
Be the
21 is going to?
pessimistic fan.
I think Man City have basically already won the league,
Yeah.
which is a disappointing way to look at it. But
They need a
the way
drastic
we
fall
set up,
off, wouldn't they?
yeah, like with Pep Guardiola, they're not just gonna go on like a 3-game losing streak or something. They're
That's
not
right,
gonna
Sam.
just drop points.
Swansea are going to put a bump in the road, and they're going to beat them in the FA Cup midweek.
Oh, that would genuinely make my month if that happened.
Derek,
but-
High season.
I'll tell you what, this weekend, Liverpool City at Anfield. And I know it's ironic given coming off back-to-back losses at Anfield, but we've played better against the top teams when we played them recently.
Mm.
So I think this would be a moment. If City did drop points this Sunday, then seeing how they bounce back would be if they get past this Sunday and continue their unbeaten run, I think they run away with it. It's if someone beats them and they don't react well, that'd be
Yeah.
I
that'd
will
be
say
the-
though, the reason I don't think that United will win the league is because when we have faced the top 6 side, we choose McTominay and Fred, Lindelof and Maguire, sit back, don't really go for it, hope we can hit him on the counter. If
Name
well,
drop. What we called it.
whereas Man City, when they go to a team like in the
they
top
just
6,
outplay
they're
them.
just going to outplay them, going to absolutely destroy them.
Thing
And
is,
we don't seem to go to set up like that.
I just had a look at Man City's fixtures. So their next 5 are actually not easy games. They have Liverpool away at Anfield. That's an easy game. With Brian coming there. Tottenham at home. That's probably
Which
an
is
easy game.
never easy game.
Everton at Goodison, Arsenal at the
Never easy.
Emirates, and then West Ham at home. So do you
I don't
reckon
know.
if they are going to fall away, would it have to be
Well,
this run of fixtures that they're playing tough teams back to back? I know you're going to
You
say,
think
"Oh,
so?
that's actually easy," but they
They are,
relatively they are
this-
good teams.
this City team as well isn't blowing teams away as much. They're winning by 1 or 2 goals. Like, they even beat Sheffield United 1-0, and that was at the Etihad. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they only
but
beat
still.
Brighton 1-0 as well.
Yeah, usually they were 4-0 wins for City last season or 2 years ago, say. So I would, if I had to put a guess, they might. The thing is, they won't concede a lot. They won't concede a lot against these teams in the next 5 games, but they would be the ones where they might slip up.
Spurs definitely could be a game where Mourinho
Says
Johnson
Oh, he
Barcelona.
would love that.
Yeah.
He
goes
would
and
love
gets
that.
a nice 1-0 smash and grab.
Well, should we
That
talk
would
about
that would be
Mourinho?
classic.
That would
So-
imply Spurs scoring.
Tottenham. This is a bit.
Vinicius on
It's
top form.
probably think that I've decided that this is the week to do it, considering that Brighton beat Spurs on the Sunday and then beat Liverpool on the Wednesday.
Don't deny it, Bruce. Don't deny it.
But my lips are sealed. Sunday
Open one.
night, Tottenham lose to Brighton away. Not a great
Yeah.
performance. Obviously, Kane is injured,
Yeah, and
Then-
Reguilon as well. Isn't it?
and then they've got Chelsea at home, but they sort of need to win to keep themselves in the top 4 race. I know they've got a game in hand, but you'd say as
Yeah.
like
You can't see where Spurs are
kicking the
winning.
bollocks, like it would be
Right.
to if they lost that game, which they
Right.
did. It's
They've
Mourinho.
been punted in the bollocks.
Obviously, Sam had a spell under Mourinho, not as a player, as a fan.
He wishes.
Had a spell under Mourinho.
Yeah.
Or
We
a
were
lover.
once lovers.
Oh, there's a sight.
I mean, can
I
I
need
be
a
asked?
photo of
Can I be
Sam.
asked to Photoshop it?
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you can. I hope you can.
Is Mourinho falling into that? What everyone thought he was when he left United.
He's at his 3-year end early.
Yeah,
was
fucking
it, was it
very
a year,
early.
year and a half? He's in.
Year and a
Yeah.
ish. Not
About
even
that.
that. No, it was a year and it's not even a year and a half, is it?
Just a year,
February.
isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 'cause-
Year and a bit.
What's
It
the
was
fact
just
that-
before the break last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. But what game did Pochettino get sacked after? Oh, Brighton beating 3-0. That was it.
Oh, was it?
Yes,
I thought
yeah,
I thought
that
I
was
thought it
right.
was that game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So is Mourinho? Is it just Kane, or is because I feel like before Kane was even injured, Spurs were
Yeah.
falling into that
Oh, they were falling off. Like, you think they
Yeah.
were top when Liverpool played them in December, November, one of them, late November or early December, something like that. We obviously, all right, it was a tight game, but like they kind of again tried the Jose thing and like at Anfield, it didn't really. They had a few chances, but since that game, they dropped from like first to like seventh,
I
think
the problem-
and that
Mourinho's
was
been
with a
sussed.
fully fit Harry Kane.
Yeah, go on,
I
Andy.
think Mourinho's been sussed.
Yeah,
Who was it? I can't remember what I was watching. I think it was like James Olcott's video or something like that. About the Chelsea Tottenham game, and he looked like the formation Chelsea were playing and compared it to what Brighton were playing them. They played exactly the same, and I think Aurier had them like in the first half had the most touches out of any player on Spurs for Spurs.
Did he play?
which is,
Did he play against Chelsea?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
Aurier
on the
did,
right,
yeah.
So because
Yeah.
he obviously left the stadium. Was it at half time?
At half time, and he was subbed off. Liverpool,
Liverpool, that was it.
not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then wasn't involved at all in the Brighton game, from my knowledge. Don't think he was even on the bench.
Oh, and then came back in for the Chelsea game.
And then
yeah.
came back in for the Chelsea game. So with
It's an odd call.
yeah, but it's so like frustrating to watch because they have such good attacking talent. Obviously, Kane's injured, but they have such good like Son. Vinicius to an extent is not a bad footballer. You're not a bad footballer if you're getting.
They've got,
And then
Gareth Bale.
Bale is very creative.
They've also got Gareth Bale just chilling on the bench.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
getting
He
paid
was dreadful
600
against
grand.
Brighton.
Yeah,
The
I
fact
know.
that
I know
Lamella is
he
still
had-
getting on before him is genuinely a crime
Yeah.
because
Like-
Lamella is not a footballer.
I know. He's not a footballer.
I think he is by definition.
I've got a
Okay, isn't
sneaky feeling.
Not having it. He's not.
He
He
did
is-
score a
he
great
has faked his
Rabona
way to
goal
the
a few years
top.
ago, though.
Yeah, what
got a
against
great
some
Rabona
farmers in
goal.
the Europa
Yeah.
League?
I was sick though, about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I was sick.
Also as well, Kane gone, Son has become as ineffective as contraception to Katie Price. She really has to. How many
Right.
kids does she have?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Why
3,
would we
4,
know
something
this?
like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's a segue.
I was trying to-
That's a
I
good
was trying to
say.
think the first woman I think that has a lot of children, and she was the first one to get to my mind. So sorry, Kate, if you're
Nice.
watching, you're definitely not. She's a huge
Her
on
and
the
Harvey
counter
sat
fan.
down.
Fan?
Yeah.
Have you not
Yeah.
heard?
Her and Dwight York are just chilling, watching it. Harvey.
I don't think
love
she
it.
spoke to Dwight York a very long time. Then.
they can reconnect over an episode and a backlog of on the counter.
Have you been watching on the counter? Oh, did you watch the one about Sam Allardyce?
Yeah, this. Yeah, I love JP's rant. I love it.
Yeah. Did you watch his
Bloody
all-
Almunia.
Did you watch Sam's Man United all-time worst 11? But you're glad you weren't in it.
I
I was
he's with
sweating when I
Dwight
clicked the
York in
video. I've completely forgot where I was going. Oh yeah,
it. Wait,
it,
I knew
it was ineffective. Because we were talking about this the other night. Kane is so good at giving other players space. Because when he's not
Yeah.
getting the ball, he'll drop deep, and he'd always drop deeper
gives-
into the
yeah,
midfield.
he needs
and
runners in
It
behind.
would drag the two centre backs out, and Son could play on the inside of the fullbacks. Now Vinicius is just goal hanging,
Yeah,
and
he's-
Son is just running around like a headless chicken, and it's just getting to the stage where you're like, where is a goal going to come from?
I guess the sad reality is a little bit is like Dele Alli. Everyone's been sending like you've seen it all over like Twitter the last week. Is that Dele Alli clip of it's just defending and punting it fucking long?
Yeah,
That clip from the documentary. Jose football isn't that basic, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
But in layman's
bad,
terms,
but
it is
it's not-
just
yeah.
defending and kicking it long.
But then the whole like I think that I've heard someone talk about like it worked at Chelsea because it was all about getting them to do it for him, fighting the world's against us, all that crap. I think Rory on the kickoff was talking about you could just but I think football is kind of a different age now. You think when that first Jose Mourinho team came up with Chelsea, there was no Pep Guardiola before Guardiola's like
Yeah.
kind of trying like change the whole possession based football now, but like most teams, top teams play. Now it's not about like the Jose football anymore as such.
Yeah.
It doesn't work quite as well.
Adam, I'm going to come to you with this one because you got a neutral view. With we talked about it a bit before we started the podcast. With the way Spurs are going, where yet again they started the season well. They're in the Carabao Cup final, but I mean,
Cool, can't wait for that.
yeah, I mean, Sunderland have won that. Have they? No, they
And
got to the
Swansea
final
have.
against City.
Swansea and Birmingham.
Swansea
won it.
have. Put some
Swansea,
respect
Birmingham.
on its
Yeah.
name, Bruce.
I mean, I think Swansea's name being on that trophy gives it as little respect as it grants it. But I forgot where I was going because now I'm getting irate at the fact that Swansea got an easy final like Bradford. Yeah, Kane, if Spurs, how long do you give Spurs not having a trophy? Or say Mourinho gets sacked at the end of the season, if they don't bring in someone who's dynamic enough, who looks like he'll win them a title, do you reckon he leaves Spurs?
Kane leaves.
Yeah.
He ain't going to leave himself. He's going to have to get sacked to leave because he's probably.
No,
one-
yeah.
I'll
thinking
talk about
about
Kane.
Kane.
Talk about Kane.
Oh, Kane, sorry. It's a tricky one. He's obviously been there for since he was academy product. right?
Yeah.
Etta.
So
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was an
it'd be a
Arsenal
tough-
fan though.
Yeah.
Mustn't
But,
forget.
it'd be a tough decision for him to leave, but I guess he's kind of getting on a
Imagine
bit.
Kane
mean-
goes to Arsenal, wins like the Premier League with Arsenal.
He's
I
getting
guess
on a bit,
they-
now, isn't he? But
Yeah.
I saw a
Um,
tweet about Kane and it said, he's such a good player. He made people believe Mourinho was still a good manager. And true words have never been spoken.
The thing is though, like
Okay.
Spurs, like some of the stats are very misleading. Where like they had such a great start to the
Mate.
season, and Kane was top of the assist chart, and Son
Yeah.
was top of the. I can't do it off the top of my head, but if you take who was it against? Southampton. If you
Yeah.
take that game away from this season, didn't Son
Yeah.
get 4 goals and Kane got 4 assists in that game?
Something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
3 and something like that.
So if you take that out,
They're even further behind Mo Salah
Yeah,
in the Golden
and
Boot
they-
race.
is that what you were going for this
Had to
season?
be said. Yeah, Golden Boot.
That's
Nobody's
your-
claiming his title.
Yeah.
sorry, they've won it. Yeah, Salah can have the golden boot, but
And we're going to reclaim the
Liverpool.
Champions League. Heard it
Yeah.
here first. But
Get
as you heard it
the
from
get
Spurs
the
first,
get the
League
bus
name
out.
drop.
Get the bus out of the garage.
Oh,
Just Salah
mate,
on his
you're
own
right.
with his golden boot.
Yeah, and no Christmas trees. That was where
No.
the bad form started.
But to be fair, you're not wrong.
Being punished.
Enough about Spurs. Who else we got to talk about? So we move away from what Bish said. Thing is, well, we don't really want to edit this. So if we have a Bish says anything inappropriate, I'm going to hand him the footage and he can edit it.
I don't have any
keep
editing
it.
software.
Well, exactly. Well,
Anyway.
you're going to get cancelled. Let's talk about Chelsea
You're gonna get cancelled?
quickly. Not again. So
Bingo.
we'll talk about Chelsea. Tommy
You got two,
T's
Shal.
3-4-3. Is it working? Is it going to be a thing? Because I just want that to be a thing, so I can say Tommy T's 3-4-3 as often as possible.
Tommy T's 3-4-3.
Yeah, Sam, is it happening?
I
Chelsea
think
today?
it will work, but it's not going to be very entertaining.
I don't really know
Oh,
it too, Shal. I don't really know.
Do you risk that? Would you rather have not very entertaining football and get what you're striving for Chelsea's sake this season? At the moment, it's probably top 4 and possibly quarterfinals of the Champions League if they can get through Atletico.
Thing
Well,
is,
if they're getting in Thomas Tuchel, they know they're not going to get,
that entertaining.
incredible football.
Mm.
You know, he made Neymar and Mbappe look boring.
That is hard to do. isn't it?
Yeah. And also, like,
If the
say
3-4-3 works, we know it works because it's worked in the league before, but he is going to make it a boring thing. Whether that's
Yeah.
what Chelsea need to get into the top 4 and far in the Champions League, then yeah, go ahead, but they're not going to have a great time with it.
also, you say, like, oh, that's what they want this season. It's not like they're going to get top 4 and then Thomas Tuchel's going to go, I feel like attacking now next season.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the same next season. It won't change. And,
I
like,
mean, fair
there's-
play if
there's
they
only-
win
there's
the
only
league
so
like
long.
that, or they do well with it, but you
There's
know.
only so long you can keep the same style though, because eventually you're just going to get found out.
Tuchel,
that's- I hate to bring it back
What?
to Swansea, but when Swansea got relegated, couple of seasons before, they were getting praised by how they're playing like
Mm.
the triangles and stuff like that. And a couple of seasons later, they're still playing the same and
That's
got
what
relegated.
Brian's sort
So
of getting at the
Bournemouth,
minute.
same happened to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
With, like, when they were playing
We're
good
getting
football,
things for like playing well, but the results weren't coming at the time. And now they are. The thing is, we've actually stopped like we still do, but like we've become a lot more resolute at the back.
Mm.
Do you reckon people? And the thing as well, like if you think about the last
Liverpool's done.
10 years of winners of the Premier League. You got United obviously in there who were top of their game. The teams that were not unlikely to win it, but were coming off not winning it and then winning it. So you got Chelsea. That was under Conte, and they weren't bad to watch, but it was
Different. Yeah,
That
it was
was the
very
3-4-3.
organised, wasn't
3-4-3
it?
as well.
It was
yeah.
Victor Moses,
Italian
like, prime
defensive
captain.
and yeah.
But like it
The
was
wing backs.
it was
Well-
and to an extent Leicester were as well. Like they
Yeah.
were very organised, and it was Vardy on the break. So do you reckon we're getting to a stage of football now where, and La Liga, Atletico, they're top of the league at the minute, playing what Simeone always does, which is very rigid.
Burnley, but Spanish. Well,
Burnley, but Spanish.
Argentinian, I guess, for
Yeah.
him. But
Oh, that's a good question. Would Sean Dyche win La Liga?
yes.
No.
100%.
With
Unai Emery's
Granada.
third.
Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. I'm not sure how it's come out on the recording yet, so we'll find out.
No.
It says
Yeah,
it's
I'm
still
gonna have to edit this, I
recording.
think. Yeah, probably gonna have
But
to
it was
edit
just me who froze. So I come back to hear them squabbling about Simeone versus Sean Dyche in a fight. So let's
I've
go
got
off in
lots
this
to hear.
tangent. Who's going to win?
Sean Dyche.
I mean, yeah, I think Dyche would keep his head. Well, Simeone would try and wind him up. He'd be like McGregor, but I guess RG, like trying to get in his head and like just, like giving him like
I
the
thought you were
old
going to do an
mental
accent
mind.
then, but I was like, please.
No, I was not. I didn't know. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where you go with that accent.
Is Sean Dyche the hardest manager in the league?
I don't know. I've never felt his penis.
Depends how happy you make him. I can't think of anyone who competes with Sean Dyche on a physical
Yeah, no.
level.
I know who I think might be the softest manager in the league. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you beat his wife up, he'd give you a hug. He'd probably give.
Oh, should we beat up Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's wife just to see how someone reacts?
See if
Yeah.
he gives you a hug.
Oh, fuck's
Right, so Sean Dyche woman beater, okay. Well, you're.
Well, no, we never accused him of that. We never accused him of that.
I think Bish did. Bish could deal with the consequences.
Dyche, mate, you're not a woman beater.
That's going to be the title of the podcast. On the
Oh.
counter, Sean Dyche woman beater.
We can't fuck that.
I can't really say that one.
Have any old Nelsons?
Yeah, the old Nelson Mandelas. Right, let's move away from Adam's lost it.
I have a question.
Is it about Sean Dyche being hard now?
No. It's topical.
Well, let me
It's
move away from. So allegedly,
Sean Dyche
Sean
is
Dyche.
hard, man.
it's fine. No, actually, no. Allegedly,
What do you mean? Allegedly, it's fine. He is alright.
Sean Dyche doesn't beat women. That's what I'm trying to
I
get
said
at.
he did. I
But
said
he
if
does
someone
love the
did.
Foo Fighters, doesn't he, Bruce?
Yeah, I was in a mosh pit with Sean Dyche. Bigger. Right, Sam, move on to your topic.
Yeah, I was just going to ask: are West Ham battling for Champions League football?
Yeah,
Oh,
with
yes.
Jay Ling's in.
Technically, I mean, yeah.
You can't
Will they do
discredit
it,
that
though?
they're not in it. I don't think they will. I think they're the same as Leicester, where they are very much a I don't think they have the
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 facilities for
mentality.
that big man.
they do not have the
No.
facilities for that.
You think, to be fair, when Liverpool went to the London Stadium, like, realistically, if I'm Michael Antonio, I'm getting on fucking Nat Phillips and Jordan Henderson. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
should, like, Antonio should have been able to like cause them some trouble, but he didn't. He did a bit, but he didn't massively. Not as much as you would hope.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think even Moyes came out and said that they probably should. They gave Liverpool too much respect. Should have been a bit more. Like those, like
Mm.
I guess if you're going to get top four, maybe those are the games that they might miss out on it.
Yeah, well, where they're playing teams that
Yeah,
realistically
in
should
and
be
around
around
them.
that.
Not
Yeah.
like away at City.
I think
United,
I think a
Liverpool.
top half
No.
finish for West Ham is a good.
Oh,
But
finish.
if they're beating like the lower side of the league,
With
they'll
Moyes, yeah,
they will
100%.
do
Because
well.
That Moyes' football, it worked at Everton when you had Fellaini coming from deep, popping up with goals. Souček is very good at doing that against the smaller clubs where they
Yeah.
have more of the ball because they
And
can risk
Souček-
going forward.
Souček is such a better finisher than Fellaini as well. He can actually
Nah,
finish.
Fellaini, right? Not like
Fellaini's good with his head.
noughties. Like Fellaini was good though, coming into the box late in the end.
I realised you were saying like the 2000s, but when you say Fellaini's naughties,
That's his stricker bars. When he retires, he's gonna open them up.
does anybody? It's like
Oh boy,
get a free dance with your first drink at Fellaini's naughties.
down in Benidorm.
As this is our first show back, I know it's very different to the original on the counter, but because we haven't. When was the last time we did an episode? When was the last time we did an episode where we talked about the football in the week? It was like Liverpool winning the Champions League. So a lot's happened since then. But let's just talk about this season. Right now, we'll come back to it at the end of the season, I'm sure. What is your signing of the season so far, Samuel Edwards? I put you on the spot.
I said it earlier, and I'm sticking with it. Ruben Diaz,
Yes.
because it's exactly what City needed. You know that last season they were lacking company. What Bish is smiling? I didn't like that.
I just look out at so my bed.
They're waiting. It's
It's what they
Fellaini's
needed.
noise.
Marouane, calm down. Talk to the boys. Put your cock away.
Like say, Ruben Diaz, Sam.
Yeah. It's completely.
Yeah.
Just a weird way to kind of carry on from that. He secured up the defense. He's completely done his job, and he wasn't too expensive.
Was he like
but once again,
35, 40?
I think it was around that. Yeah. I know it's City. Not
That's
liking
nothing
what
to
they
it, though.
signed earlier, so go and get another one.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
worked.
worked.
For them, and they seem to be,
Yeah.
as I say, running away with the league.
Adam Evans.
Are we talking Prem, are we?
Yeah. Who's going to go? I think Scott Hogan has been a great signing. I don't think anyone.
Scott Hogan.
He's
Connor
supposed to be
Hogan.
a football manager legend for me.
What, just from January, or are we talking like
No, just the whole.
all
Look,
season, yeah.
who's changed their team the most this season?
Oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. I'd probably be more inclined to go Ruben Diaz, but I'm intrigued to see about Odegaard and Jesse Lingard. Obviously, Lingard's had a great start. Scoring 2 in his debut, but
Yeah.
yeah,
More
it's
goal
hard
involvements than Thiago.
It's hard not to say Ruben Diaz, judging by
Yeah.
just by how Man City are doing defensively this season.
Yeah, because I think that's what City's problem was they are so good attacking. They probably will score a goal at some point, but they'd
they've got
have some
striker,
games where
but-
they were shaky. Bish, are you going for Ruben Diaz as well?
No, I'm actually going to go for Donny van de Beek. Now, I think he's had a really good impact.
He's had a really good impact on the bench because he's kept it warm for everyone.
He's warmed up. He's Solskjaer's little friend who just sits there next to him, keeps him company.
I think
Apparently they
Solskjaer
get
calls
on
something
very
else.
well. Apparently they get on really well, and that's why he signed. He was just like,
Oh.
Solskjaer's the same guy.
They're just
He
best
goes, "Oh,
friends,
Solskjaer's
play
really
the game
sad."
together.
Oh, so what am I playing, are they?
You're
You're
playing
breaking
clever,
up.
aren't
I can't hear you. We're talking in person.
you? No, I do have a shout though. Signing of the season, Emi Martinez at Villa. What a signing
He was
he
shocking.
like
He
from
was
Arsenal.
shocking. The only bad game I've seen him have was in the week.
West Ham,
But yeah, that is a good. I think he
I
took
did
them
watch
to the
that game,
next
so
to the next level. Because the thing is, Grealish.
definitely. Who
Grealish
did they
is-
have in goal? To be fair, they had Tom Heaton in goal, who's also a good
yeah,
keeper.
but he got injured.
and
They had Pepe
Reina,
Reina.
yeah, Reina,
Yeah.
who is a bit of a suspect
Yeah.
Fossil?
goalkeeper. He's alright.
bit of a fossil now.
I would have
he's
said
fast.
Yeah.
if Tottenham hadn't fallen off as much as they have in the last week.
Are you gonna say?
I was gonna say Højbjerg.
He's
'Cause
been,
he
no,
was-
he's played really well.
He has played really well. The problem is, I think Spurs are gradually getting there because they have a good attack when Kane is fit. Kane and Son, like they're getting any team really. And I know you're
I
gonna say
still
they
don't
won't
know
get
who
my Liverpool
the
team.
main centre backs are, but they're like
That's what I'm gonna get onto.
trusting
Midfield
ones.
now,
no.
they've got the creativity in Ndombele, and they've got the muscle and the passion
Sissoko
with
and-
Pashun with Højbjerg. And then you go to the back and you got Serge Aurier, who's about as consistent as a chocolate teapot. You've got
yeah.
Eric Dyer, who's turned into he's doing fucking dancing on ice in the penalty
Oh, I
box,
see.
picking up
I
Burners'
think that's
ankles.
really cruel. I didn't think he did all that bad against Chelsea. He was putting his body on the line more than anybody else.
Yeah, but he
like
made
Spurs
that one
did.
mistake, which is a defender.
Putting
You
your
make
body
that-
on the line. Like if you're in a war zone, they don't say you did well if you went, oh, you know what, I'm going to run in front of some bullets.
If he's not in a war zone, he's in a
I would
football
say
match
if
against
someone
Chelsea.
ran in front of bullet shot at me, I'd love them.
Didn't like Eric
Fair
Dyer
enough.
nearly scored like a cracking own goal though?
Oh, it was incredible on I think it was like on a half volley, he just chipped it up and Lloris had to kind of
Yeah,
take it
so
down
I'm
and
not
get it out.
taking that, Adam. I'm sorry.
All right, fair
And
enough.
then Joe Roden looks decent, but is quite a bit young.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh,
he's,
well,
he's a
Adam's
bit
been
inexperienced.
talking
Sticking next to
like, at the Premier
Alderweireld.
level. Yeah, Alderweireld just hasn't looked the
I
same
rate him
last
higher
year or
than
two.
Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
I rate my
In the
name
name.
higher than Eric
In
Dyer.
the name.
Yeah, but your nan's a cracking centre back, mate.
My name would be a cracking centre back,
Yeah.
right? Replace her hip, and she would move like Mbappe. Honestly.
Spurs downfall as well. Like I know Kane obviously went, but they were falling off before he did. Reguilon was a big thing. Do you reckon he would have maybe been in for shout of signing of the season
Kind
if
of,
Tottenham
possibly.
weren't falling off as much as they
My
are?
highlight of Regulon this season. Oh, I will bring this up, Bruce.
Is Ham.
We're at the snooker club watching
Oh, you're breaking up. I
Brighton
can't hear
versus-
you.
watching Brighton Swan Spurs, sorry. Regulon, you're like, show him inside. Shows him inside. Regulon, right footed cross, Gareth Bale scores the winner.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
I think
Spurs
that-
did that. I'm normally right about these things, but you know, we have our off days.
Yeah. Back to a simpler time when the pub was open.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about things being open, fans coming back to stadiums. When do you think?
Where's this going? Where is this
Talk
going?
about things
It's
being
a
open.
very
Back to Katie Price. No. Sorry,
Sake.
Katie. She's still not watching.
Yeah, if she
when-
has been watching, she would have clicked
She's
off
turned
by
off
now.
by now. She goes.
I don't know.
They keep talking about Marwan. Can we get back on track?
Yeah.
Fans in stadiums.
Yeah, no.
When do we realistically think that? Do you reckon it will be start of next season, or do you reckon even next season? See Adam crying in the bottom there.
I don't even know.
And do you think it has had as big as impact as some people think it has in Liverpool, for instance?
I think it's affected. I think it has. I think. Well, you look at Man United's home form is crap. Well, not crap,
Yeah.
but it's inconsistent. Like I don't think. I think a lot of games. I think, for example, some games, some of those high-scoring games at the start of the year, your 7-2 Liverpool Villa, your 6-1 United Spurs. I don't think they happen if fans are there. So I just don't think, because you can kind of, when one team smells blood at the minute, it's a training
scared the
exercise.
shit
Got
out of
special
me.
guest. Special guest.
Oh, Libby, you fucking
That
weirdo.
scared the shit out of me. I saw this. You'll see that
I'll
on the
say now,
recording.
go
I
on.
went. I actually shit myself there.
I had no idea she was there.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, fans,
Oh, what was she there
come
for?
back.
I don't know because I looked down the corner. I went, oh.
I
Adam,
wonder what you were getting scared about.
you obviously know what it's like to not have fans for a very long time. You support Swansea, so do you...
Shots
That was
fired.
unnecessary.
They're all at the rugby.
It's-
They're all at the rugby.
yeah, they're all in the fields. I can't say that. Allegedly,
They just
I'm sure
can't
some of
say
them
what I was
do.
going to
Adam,
say.
what you obviously follow more lower league football. Has the Championship been affected by? This is a genuine question. Have you seen in the Championship like people being affected by not having fans, or has the Championship gone the way that it probably realistically was set up with your Norwiches being up there, your Watfords being up there, your Bournemouth?
Watford's are probably a good point to start on because, well, starting of the season, obviously they got relegated last year. Yeah, they probably maybe could have got out of it, but this season everybody probably thought they were going to go straight back up, but they haven't really looked all that. And the same with Bournemouth as well. But I think because obviously they're coming from the point that they obviously got relegated last season, they're coming back down. Obviously on a low point anyway, and the fact they haven't got fans to boost them is probably having a massive impact on them anyway. But if you look at teams like Swansea, for example,
We can see how long it takes.
No, but
I'm scrolling through Instagram.
He's looking at women on his
Um,
Instagram.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at Jose Mourinho.
Oh, nice.
even better.
There you go.
Let's talk about
yeah.
let's talk about Swansea. We'll let Adam have his time. As you are a guest of the show, even though we've roasted you for 30 minutes. Are Swansea? Do you reckon you're going to do it? Do you reckon you'll come up? You've obviously been following them quite closely.
I don't want to speak too early,
If I
but
speak,
I know it's looking very positive at the moment. But I guess after tonight's game against Norwich, we'll have a better idea.
yeah, that is. What time does that kick off?
8:15.
Oh, we've got 15 minutes from when we're recording this.
Yeah.
So in terms of the championship, who is most likely in your eyes? Who are the three getting promoted?
Automatically, I'm going to say Norwich and Brentford, and then playoffs. I think
Is
it's
he
going
gonna
to be
back 'em?
between Swansea and Brentford in the playoff final.
Well, Brentford are going up
Really?
automatically.
No, I don't see it.
They go to
See, I
the
don't-
Champions League.
Oh yeah, wait.
I think Swansea will finish in the top four and get Champions League.
Yeah, I'll take that. No, but I think Swansea will playoffs. I think, but Norwich definitely are getting promoted along with. It's difficult. Championship is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Well, that's the
put
thing.
a
I
name
think
to
the Premier League
confidence.
has become like the Championship this year, where it's like people are beating anyone. Doesn't matter the
Yeah.
venue, doesn't matter the time and place. They're beating everyone.
Unless you're Man City, basically.
Yeah, at the minute. Well, boys, I don't think we've got much else to talk about. I think we've
So
covered our
now
bases.
we can get onto the political subjects.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll leave that for the extras. We'll
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll record it just for Bish, and Bish can look at it after. and
I'm not
say-
being involved in that. Just
Yeah. It's just Bish talking to himself.
I mean,
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
Anyway, big game of the
That's it.
weekend. Last thing before we go, the biggest game of the weekend is obviously Man City Liverpool. How do we see it playing out? Sam, you
0-0
first.
draw.
Oh, Adam,
I
you
wouldn't be
first.
surprised,
Sorry, boys, but-
Is
pretty
that-
spot on.
Is that what you go for? 0-0 draw, Adam?
Yeah, I think so. I think Liverpool maybe because obviously they're on a bad run of form. They're
That's cool.
probably not going to be as confident going forward, and probably because of the fact that Brighton were very quick the other night attacking them. So especially against a better opposition like Man City, I think they're going to sit back a bit more.
Debatable. Bish.
Yeah, no, the problem is with Liverpool, obviously, they can't really score at home. But I guess with Man City, they will be a bit more open. So
Give us your
it
score.
depends,
Bish.
because Klopp might throw fucking Ben Davis in at centre back, so he bloody knows. I'm gonna be confident and go 2-1 Liverpool.
Ooh, Sam.
I will play the other side of this and say 3-0 Man City.
Whoa!
No,
At
it won't be
Anfield.
3-0. It won't be
I can't see
3-0.
Liverpool winning, to be
I-
honest.
Pep's
Yeah.
never won at
I'll put a
Anfield.
bet on it, and when it comes through, I won't split the earnings.
Sammy, you old.
But-
Sammy, you can't bet. That's rude.
I'm going to go.
Didn't ask.
No, I'm just going to go. 2-1 Man City. And we'll come back to this next week and we can all see who was right.
2-1 Man City wouldn't surprise me. 3-0 to Man City would be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You wait.
God, Sam's still arguing.
I'm just
Go on.
saying you wait. I'm just saying you wait. You wait. And
Do you know what I think? Klopp should roll back the years for Kelleher, play him at striker.
Can you imagine that? Like,
See
it's
it.
like Adam Virgo at Brighton. He scored one like last minute equaliser in the playoff semi-final, and then the next season we just played him up front. So
Yeah,
tactical masterminds. Anyway, Adam,
Fucking can't do any worse than Bobby Firmino currently.
it's all right, Bish. We can have a call down afterwards. Adam, thank you very much for joining us. Where can people
pleasure.
find all your football shenanigans?
On my Twitter, which I can't remember what my Twitter handle is. I think it's Adam.
That's always a great
_
start.
Evans.
Do you know what,
I
Adam?
think-
Just for you,
Yeah.
I will find it because I don't follow
Put it up on the
actually.
screen.
Uh,
I think it's Adam _Evans 03.
It is. It's Adam _Evans at 0310. So everyone, go give Adam a follow. You're
Is it
following.
not Adam
you-
Gino?
You will be able to.
I changed it.
You will be able to go to some football soon, won't you? With the Welsh Premier League. I say football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are you excited to go back and you can start following football in person again?
I know I miss watching football in person. I mean, it's not the Championship or Premier League, but it's football. I
It's
enjoy
football,
covering
and
it. So,
we're getting back to a sense of normality. So,
yeah.
thank you everyone. Thank you to the usual suspects for joining me. That was lovely, James.
What a way to finish.
Always finished. There's that bit. He's been holding that in all episode.
Yeah, it's beer.
We will. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to go out on a limb and say we'll be back same time next week.
We'll see. Mark.
Definitely not the same time, but we'll be back probably next week.
No, but I mean, we could release it at the same time. We're at the same time next week.
Oh yeah, true. We don't know when we're gonna release it.
Get the bebs
Might never
in.
come out.
Chat loads shy about
Always
football and
decide.
Katie Price. There you go. That is what all the calendar.
Football, Katie Price. Sounds like an evening for Dwight York.
Right.
Maybe
Let's
not
leave it
anymore.
there because we're going down a rabbit hole. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and see you next week.
Ciao for now.